Alright, so guys, I'm going to take Jax through some deadlifts. I've got a few tips and tricks to go through with him. If you're new to deadlifting and never deadlifted before, then it's definitely worth getting yourself a coach to go through it, because there's quite a few things to go through, and it can be a little bit risky on your lower back if you've never done it and if you're trying to load up the bar too quickly. So Jax, set yourself up on the bar. I'll go through a couple of things with your setup. I like to always go shins right up against the bar. Always start with the bar right up on your shins. Then when he goes down to pick up the bar, before we pick it up, so we're looking for a nice flat back. From head, shoulders, tailbone, as flat as possible, before we're even thinking about lifting the bar. Then we're thinking about trying to lock your shoulder blades back and down as tight as you can. See there, it's what we call taking slack out of the bar. So basically he's created a lot of tension in his upper back and his legs before even picking up the bar. That way again we're preventing the lower back doing the work. So Jax, if you start deadlifting a little bit here, or a few reps. As he pulls it up, he's trying to think glute squeeze, trying to get the hamstrings, glutes and the upper back, it's all the posterior chain working. Cool. As he goes down, relaxes a little bit, then he's got the lock-in position again, nice and tight, taking the slack out of the bar, resets, locks in, squeeze at the top, controls down. Again, reset, lock in, squeeze at the top, relax every time down the bottom. It's good. And again, he's keeping head, shoulders, and lower back all nice and flat. So not putting any stress on the lower back here. It's working as such, but it's not going to be the muscles that are working the absolute most. For the legs and the upper back, I'm feeling it. Take a breather. And so if you're having some trouble with your mobility and keeping a flat back when you're down there trying to set up, we can chuck some plates underneath the bar. Cool. So by doing this, we're basically elevating the bar, and Jax doesn't have to get as low when he's before he picks up the bar. So now it's a little bit higher on his shin. Perfect. Makes it a little bit easier for him to get into that low starting position. That way, again, he can keep a nice flat back.
We'll get rid of that.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. All right. So second set. Cool, we've got the lock in, taking the slack out of the bar, up and squeeze, cool. So another thing to focus on is the breathing. So a little breath in before he lifts up, big breath out at the top, and then you can relax, reset again. Little breath in, big breath out at the top. So you're always getting used to consistent breathing. It can be easy to stop breathing when deadlifting. Squeezing at the top, nice. And again, to focus on the leg drive and the legs working, you can think about pushing the ground away with your feet. So rather than thinking about just pulling the bar up off the floor, think about pushing your feet into the ground as hard as you can. Glute squeeze at the top, cool. And you've got the reset, and take that little breath in. Everything's locked in, squeezed, he's got the breath out, and then relaxing down the bottom. Nice. So there's a few different tips and tricks. There's quite a few things with deadlifting. Take a few of them away. If you can use some of them for your deadlifting, it should help you out, save your lower back. And again, if you haven't been deadlifting, it's definitely worth finding yourself a coach to take yourself through it, especially if you're new to it, just to save the lower back and get you nice and strong but safely.